is here. All right. Got here in plenty of time. Okay, I wanted to get here before I guess I asked to be with us, but been practicing for the Ironman. I am not. Right. Okay. So I brought up now probably, it was probably late fall of 2025. We were going through the search process for a new fire chief. I'm guessing you don't recall all of that information, but we had 14 people apply for fire chief. We had 7 internal, 7 external. We narrowed that down to 3 to 5 candidates. And then from that, we, in my opinion, were incredibly fortunate that we were able to select Chief Rebecca Tile. Chief Tile is remarkable. I think you will find that. She is really the right person for the right job at this time for our community. Something that you should know is out of our entire history of our fire department, we have only had 12 fire chiefs. It's pretty remarkable. And also, just so you're aware, the mayor does not select the fire chief. I wish I could take credit for Chief Tile. But we have 3 citizens who elect the fire chief, a Democrat, a Republican, and an independent. Those independents are harder and harder to find these days, but we found one. Chief Tile was really gracious with her time. She actually had a 10 o'clock meeting that she is going to be late for that meeting so that she could be with you just for a couple minutes and introduce herself. But I would just say there's so many things that really impressed me about Chief Tile, but I think at the core, she is someone who has incredible values. She is someone of incredible integrity and tremendous character. And I think we are really fortunate to have her leadership. She made quite a jump from captain to chief. And that's a significant jump. I think that's only happened twice in our history of our fire department. And you will quickly find out exactly why she was chosen because, again, just amazing human being and an amazing leader. So Chief Rebecca Tile.
Wow, what an introduction. I was going to let you keep going there for a little bit. I appreciate all the encouraging words that you have to say. Well, good morning. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to be here today, actually to meet a few of you before the mayor was able to get here and say all those wonderful things. But yes, I am Rebecca Tile. I'm born and raised in Rockford, have spent 17 years in the Rockford Fire Department and absolutely love it. I grew up as a young woman into sports, and when I got to college, I played basketball at Western Illinois University. I studied kinesiology, and I loved both being active, and I loved the science and the medical side of what the fire service had to provide. And so for me, it was the most perfect career I could have fallen into, and I'm grateful for the people who encouraged me to do that. So what do we have? We have the Rockford Fire Department, right? We have over 100 years of tradition. 1881, we started as a paid department, and as he stated, we've had 12 fire chiefs over that amount of time, and so I feel incredibly honored and humbled and fortunate to follow in some of those individuals' footsteps. But listen, we've got an incredible group of people that serve our community every day, and so I can't take all the credit for that. Across 11 different stations, we have firefighters every day that respond to calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we're very thankful for what they do. We're thankful for the training that they have and the service that they provide to each and every individual in their time of need. We respond to a wide variety of calls, fire calls, medical calls, water rescue calls, technical rescue, hazmat. We respond to all of it, including emergency, weather conditions. We've got the Ironman on Sunday that we're helping manage, and so we're busy. We run about 33,000 calls a year, and just about 25,000 of those are medical calls. And so I'm very grateful and again humbled to be a part of this organization and serve with the men and women of the Rockford Fire Department because I think they're absolutely phenomenal. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we also, part of our organization is our 911 center. And there's 2 911 centers in Winnebago County, and the one that serves the city is located in our headquarters facility. And those folks who answer that call and dispatch the right resources to manage those emergencies are also phenomenal human beings. And so I just feel incredibly privileged to be in this position of leadership and service to the community because we have something really special. And I think that we're industry leaders in what we do. I think that we're constantly innovating and getting creative to try and be better, to try and respond faster, to try and mitigate the incident more efficiently. And so we are just super excited every day to get up and fulfill our duty and our mission to the community. And I really appreciate being here today. I appreciate you all. And if you ever need anything, please, reach out. If there's something going on here in the facility we need to be aware of, or if you've just got questions or concerns, please reach out at any point in time. We would love to answer those questions for you. So thank you very much.
So that 911 center takes about 104,000 calls a year, correct? It's a remarkable amount of work, but thank you for your leadership and thank you for squeezing us in. I asked late, and she helped accommodate it. So thank you so much. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you at the graduation of new firefighters this afternoon.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. We really are really lucky to have Chief Tayo. I also think it's pretty neat that we have both our police and fire chief are incredibly amazing women leading both of those departments. So I am gonna try to run through a lot of information as quickly as I can and take questions about anything that you would like me to talk about. Okay. There's not a lot new on infrastructure since I was here just 3 months ago. I outlined a number of the projects. They are all in the works. They're all moving forward. If you have questions at the end of this about infrastructure projects, happy to touch on any of them. But in brief, we're doing about $150 million worth of road work and water work this summer. That surpasses last year's historic high of $96 million. So lots of work being done by our public works team and many contractors out there. Nothing new on our budget, but there was an item that was in the news that I do want to touch on. So we are audited every year. Right about the time that our audit is complete, we do a supplemental appropriation ordinance. So that makes sure that we really close out the previous year. If you look at the last year, we're, depending on which budget you're looking at, but general operating budget, we're about a $226 million organization. If you add in a bunch of other stuff, it climbs pretty quickly to about $450 million. But the $226 million is really what you hear all of the aldermen talking about when they're on council floor. It's what they talk about at neighborhood meetings. It's your property taxes, things of that nature. Our expenses were 0.019 away from what we budgeted. They were $40,000 higher than what we budgeted, but our team has really done a good job of managing the expenses. But our revenue had a shortfall, had a $9 million shortfall. And I wanted to touch on what those there's two reasons, and I wanted you to know what those two reasons are. One is something called PPRT. I'm sure you all are familiar with it. You can really think of it as corporate income tax. And so this was started back in 68, 69, 70, right around there, 1968 to 1970, somewhere in there. Cities used to collect it. Now the state collects it. The state has distributed less of that money over the years and kept more of it for themselves. Uh-oh, my phone never rings, so it's either my mom or my wife. Okay. There are two people I always take the call. They now know to text me if it's something really big. So they take more of that revenue. So that was a chunk of the revenue that we lost. We're advocating that we get fully funded, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. The other item, actually, the chief would be far more articulate than I am, was ambulance revenue. So several years, maybe 7, 8 years ago, we said, if you can't afford an ambulance ride, we don't want you to not call 911. And so we said, if you can't afford the ambulance ride, we're not going to collect that money from you. And it's worked really well. There's been a number of changes. One recently from the federal government that has dissuaded people and not allowed people to get on affordable health care as easily. So a lot less people have affordable health care. And a lot less people now have health care at all. And so we took a big hit on that average number of people who have health care in Rockford that we transport. So that was a big hit that we took. Now, none of that changes. There was all sorts of articles of, well, what programs is the city going to cut? Are they going to increase a tax? Right now, we don't need to do that. I'm not saying it won't ever happen, but right now we don't need to do that. We have worked really hard, and I've mentioned this every time I've been here, that we did not have a rainy day fund or a reserve fund. We now do, and it's fully funded, and it's for rainy days when we either have an expense that we need to come up with that we didn't budget, or we had a lack of revenue that we did budget for. So it's been cleaned up. Our budget is all good. We're moving forward. We use our rainy day fund to fill that $9 million gap. We were over our reserve fund already, about $4 million over, so we do need to replenish it. But we're in a good position. I had a lot of people say, well, what's gonna happen with that? Right now, we're in a good position. I will tell you, moving into this year, it's gonna be a difficult year. We have a lot more people in need, a lot less funding coming from the federal government for those who are in need, if it's through SNAP benefits, if it is through healthcare, if it's through violence prevention and intervention, if it's through homeless prevention, if it's through housing, you could go on and on, but there's a lot less money coming from the federal government. So we did create a task force made up of 2 Democrats, 1 Republican, our finance director, and members of our public works team, members of our police department, members of our fire department, and members of all of the unions that we represent. Our feeling was we want to make sure our employees are part of whatever discussion we have about our budget. And why we just have public works, police, and fire is they make up 87% of our budget combined. So if something's going to change in our budget, it has to impact them. Otherwise, we're just playing with the edges, and that is not going to cut it. A number of quick updates. Davis Park. Davis Park is moving along. It initially, as I mentioned last time, did not meet my time frame. I wanted it done by Ironman. But last winter, at the end of 2025, we had about a 10-day period that we had a huge cold snap. We were not able to pour the concrete footings of the building that we're building on Davis Park, so that has delayed it. We had to wait until all the thaw, and now we're doing it. If you go down there, you will see the beginnings of a 6,000 square foot universally accessible playground. You will see the beginnings of a massive stage. The skate park is actually already completed. You will see the new path system, concrete path system throughout the park, and you will soon start to see new public art being put into the park. It really is starting to take shape and looks really wonderful. A couple of other items, some economic development items. PCI Pharma Services out on the southeast side of Rockford continues to grow like gangbusters. They, about 3 years ago, had 1.2 million square feet in the city of Rockford and about 1,100 employees. By the end of this summer, they will have 2 million square feet in Rockford and just over 2,600 employees. J.L. Clark on the southeast side of Rockford is investing an additional $10 million into their facility and growing their employment base by 40%. Yeah.
Would you, I don't know the acronyms or the letters, would you say what these companies are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So PCI Pharma Services, they package medical medicines and kind of small medical equipment, but primarily, almost solely, medicine. It used to be Anderson Packaging way back in the day. Now it's PCI Pharma Services. J.L. Clark makes a lot of different things. The one I think, well, one of the many things that they make that we're all aware of is you've all purchased an Altoid tent. They make those tents right here in Rockford. Yeah, a lot of people here are a lot smarter than me. Crusader Clinic is next week, I believe it is opening up a brand new location on Linden Road near South Alpine and Linden Road. Want to give you two updates on things that have been in the news. One is Hard Rock and one is Data Center. Hard Rock we obviously know Ho-Chunk is going in Beloit. Hard Rock wants to keep up with them. They spent about $80 million more than they budgeted for during the pandemic to build their casino. So their debt to revenue ratio does not allow them to just go out to the market and get credit and get money to build a hotel. So they are using our bonding authority to go out for a $100 million bond to build a hotel. In that, we get a couple of things. One, they pay back that bond, we do not. That bond they pay it back. It's also, that hotel should generate about $12 million per year. That bond will be less than $8 million, so that's one safety. The second safety is if, let's say the hotel fails, which there's only one hotel that I think's ever been attached to a casino that failed, and now that guy's in the White House. So I think it's a fairly safe bet. If that hotel fails, the casino revenue would backstop it. If both of those fail, then we would. We also will be having what they call a put option in it, which means that the casino will buy back that hotel within 7 to 10 years. So we're actually, I was in a meeting before this negotiating what that exact time frame will be. It will be 7, 8, 9, or 10 years, but they will buy it back. So we're not going to have this extraordinary long risk period. I think the risk period is pretty low. Now, why would we do this? A couple of important things. One, we are guaranteed $7 million from the casino. One of the things that opens up that agreement is if Ho-Chunk comes. Now, they will close that door and we'll never have to open it up for that again if we do this. So that's one leverage point. The other leverage point is we get about after year 3, from year 3 to year 30, we will get another $4 million per year. So I think there's a good return on investment. We keep what we have in perpetuity, and we gain additional funding because of it. So that's why we're doing it, because I've had a lot of people say, well, why the heck would you do that? Great question. That is why we're doing it, is we need more money, and it's a low risk to get that more revenue. Data center. Okay, so lots of discussion about the data center. So some of what I'm going to tell you, probably much of what I'm going to tell you, is probably old news to you if you've read anything recently. So just south of the airport, a developer called Monarch has 1,100 acres under contract. This started, I think the newspaper says 3 to 4 years ago. I think it's probably more like 4 to 5 years ago. We started talking to Monarch initially because the county was talking to them. The county actually brought them in. And they were looking to turn the waste at the landfill into sustainable aviation fuel. We have a new federal administration that comes in. That sustainable aviation fuel is no longer something that will have a return on investment for them. And so it's really no longer feasible for them to do it. They have not said they are hoping at some point either the current administration or a new administration has a change of heart and changes that, and they'll go back to doing that. So I think that is in our future. But under the current administration, they're looking for other avenues to make money. One of those avenues is to potentially bring in a data center. Some important things to understand. That 1,100 acres is under a pre-annexation agreement. That annexation agreement started in 2008 and was expanded in 2011. So when you annex in property, you annex it in under certain rules, certain zoning. One of those zoning, and probably the most important thing for everyone to know, including myself, is that it was zoned I-2, heavy industrial. A data center is a permissible use under I-2. Tom McNamara cannot change that. So people have said, well, do a moratorium. I could. And it will impact everywhere in Rockford except the place that you all care about. I'm not going to do that because I think it makes me look good and also isn't real truthful. There's nowhere else a data center is going to go in our community besides there. There's just not enough land, nowhere near the energy or the water or anything else that any data center would need, so it would be pretty much a non-starter. So, Monarch, there are 5 to 7 what they call hyperscalers. They call them the Big 7, I think is what they call them, and that is Meta, which is Facebook, that's Google, that's Microsoft, that's all of these massive technology companies. We know Monarch they were talking to several of them. We know that they're talking to 1 or 2 of them now. I don't know who that 1 or 2 is. I can make guesses based on we're in Illinois and certain things that I've seen, but I can't tell you what that is with any certainty. Then, and sorry, this is a little bit lengthy and a little bit all over the place, but it's important. Then we just saw the governor say, well, we're not going to give tax incentives to data centers. By the way, that was after 2 years of him saying that he is going to give tax incentives to data centers. Also, anyone who has been in discussions, I can't tell you for certain, but I can make a good guess is that they're already in the pipeline to get those tax incentives. So it's anyone new from that day forward will not get those incentives. So I can't tell you if this hyperscaler that Monarch is potentially talking to will get those or not. My guess is that they probably will get those if they've been in discussions. I will also tell you from the research that we've done, data centers, of those data centers that are proposed, about 8% of them actually begin construction. So there's a lot more proposed than actually get into construction. So, for example, Cherry Valley has actually already done a deal with Microsoft. I mean, no one went to their city council meetings, but they did. They did it a year ago, or 8 months ago. Joliet is looking at a data center. DeKalb has a data center and just voted unanimously to expand it by more than double. I don't foresee Joliet, DeKalb, Cherry Valley, and Rockford all coming to fruition. My best guess, and again a guess, is 1 or 2 of those will actually ever come to fruition. We also are annexing in about 500 acres of what they would call, most people would call the Gensler properties out there. And that is going to be annexed in by a totally different developer, which has no interest in a data center. We've had those discussions with them, and so they will not be doing it. A couple of things that I do think is important to know. This land out there, we as a community in a city have been working on this land for decades. It is some of the best land in our city to develop for employment opportunities. It's near rail. It's near major roads. It is near air. We spent money as a community to bring sanitation out there, to bring water out there. It is one of probably the top 5, if not even a shorter list than that, best sites in the entire state of Illinois for development. I am all for that development. I think it needs to happen. We have to grow if you understand our city's finances and our residents' needs for employment. Have to. We can have lots of debates on how we do that out there. I just want you to understand that there is a large likelihood, one, I think it's a small likelihood that we would actually ever get a data center. I'd say today, I've been saying probably less than 30%, that there will even be a proposal for a data center. And then once it's proposed, only 8% of them in the nation actually move forward. I don't know. We also want to make that area a tax increment financing district. One of the individuals who wants to annex in the additional 500 acres that we call the Gensler properties did what they call Rock 39. It's that huge development off Baxter that has FedEx and other businesses. That individual wants to redevelop his 500 acres. He has a track record of bringing in really good companies, really good jobs, and truthfully, he has never wanted to do any business in the city of Rockford, and now he does. That's a good thing. He typically wants some concrete confirmation and certainty of what incentives he can offer businesses to go out there. So don't hold me to the exact numbers, but to give you an example, the Baxter property that he redeveloped, he went to the county and said, I want a TIF for these 5 parcels, and I want 100% of the TIF year 1, 75% year 2, 50% year 3, 25% year 4, and 0 year 5. So then when he goes out to FedEx, he can say, you're guaranteed this. And that's what they want. They want certainty when they do it. They don't want to have to come to city council and have these whims of, well, they like FedEx, or they like Amazon, or they like whoever it is, this manufacturer over that one. They want certainty. So I support the TIF, and I support development out there. I think the last thing I will mention on the data center, and I have a couple other items and happy to take any questions, is I do believe if, big if, like capital I, capital F, if there is a data center, there's a large likelihood our city council will never get to vote on it. It is a permissible use. They could be digging dirt today. They would need to follow all of our guidelines of the landscaping and the buffers and all of that. But I just want residents to know, this could happen after I'm gone. If it comes here, there's nothing your alderperson or your mayor or the city can do if they follow all of the rules that are already in writing. And you can't add new rules because it's a pre-annexation agreement. So for them, they actually have a pretty perfect piece of land. For us, it's a fantastic piece of land to develop. We may or may not want a data center, but it is a great piece of land to develop to bring jobs. Last thing I will mention, and not pushing anyone one way or another, but I've been asked, well, there's 0 benefits to a data center, why would anyone want them? I have had a lot of discussions with mayors who have data centers, just trying to figure out what is good, what is not good, what do I need to worry about. Like I've talked to the mayor of Aurora, who went a path of having, I think, an 8-month moratorium on data centers. His moratorium was not because he does not like data centers, which is a little bit how it's perceived. His moratorium was one of his data centers is right up against a fairly affluent neighborhood, and they needed to run their generators to keep the Chicago Stock Exchange open for 3 or 5 days in a row, and all the residents and that wealthier subdivision said, "This is way too loud, I don't want this." And then he said, "I'll do a moratorium." So, I mean, it wasn't like, it's not a huge act of courage there. But he did, and he's come up with some really good rules and good guidelines, which we're looking at what we can and can't do legally because of the annexation agreement. I talked to Cohen Barnes, who's the mayor of DeKalb. He will tell you that he really likes the data center because they followed everything that they laid out, and he's dropped their property taxes by 20%. And they're building new schools off the revenue of the data center. So you'll get all varying degrees. And I've talked to mayors who absolutely despise the data center that they've inherited. So, I mean, I've talked to all of them, and we're just trying to gather as much information as we can. Couple of last items that I'll mention. 3 updates and 2 other items. Updates, I always want to talk to you about Rockford Promise. They accepted and had a ceremony for their most recent class. Their most recent class was 192. It's their largest class. So right now we have 530, this fall we will have 535 kids on college campuses tuition free. 2 events I want to, well, 3 that I want to make you aware of. This Sunday is Ironman. Really fun event. If you have an opportunity, going downtown near that finish line is really a fun experience. It's remarkable that these people do 70 miles and are like at the finish line at 9:45 in the morning. I'm like, what did you do today? I give my kids Cheerios before I got here. Really a fun event that I'm excited for is July 3rd. So we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. Myself and Chairman Shirelli went out and raised about $250,000, and we are doing events throughout the community all summer long. We've done art contests for our kids, we've done essay contests, we're funding a lot of the events. One big event that we are funding is July 3rd, which will be a community-wide block party downtown right in front of Coronado with an absolutely free Rockford Symphony Orchestra concert at the Coronado on July 3rd. It should be a really fantastic evening and experience. Also, we are helping fund what they call 815 Day, and this year 815 Day, August 15th, 815 Day, falls on a weekend. And so we are doing a music festival August 14th and August 15th, and so that'll be taking place downtown as well. Last 2 items that are actually, last 3 that are before City Council, or will be by Monday. One is a vacant retail program. So we're seeing a lot more businesses, but we still have too many corridors or strip centers that don't have business operations in them. We have some on West State Street, some on Rockton. You could go all the way around. We are taking a tact of saying we will help pay for your rent if you have a business plan, you partner with a business district, and you are welcoming business support services, because we don't want to just pay for them to be in there and then say, hey, see ya. We want to help them for sustainability. But I'm really excited about that because I think it's going to give a lot of courageous entrepreneurs an opportunity that they otherwise could not afford, because their biggest need, they have the idea, they can do the business, they just can't afford the initial outlay of cash. And so we're going to help them with that. Second item is we have significant housing needs. I've already told you about our property tax rebate program. Build a home, rebate your property taxes for 3 years, waive your permit fees, waive your water connection fees, and it's helping. We are going through our zoning right now, and we are going to make it easier for folks to invest all throughout our community when it comes to housing. It's not going to take away our authority. It's not going to take away residents' ability to voice their concerns, but we'll be able to make residential permissible in, let's say, office areas. So if you can have an office there, you can also have a residence there. We're also going to make things easier, like if you go on North Main Street, you have a number of these homes who have turned into commercial. Well, right now, you can't turn that, like the bike shop that you see on North Main, you can't turn that bike shop into a home. That would be illegal. our changes would make that allowable. So we're just trying to make things more allowable, more permissible, easier. We're also going to be providing a roadmap. We've demolished a lot of properties out of our neighborhoods, which I think is good because they were dragging down property values and were really in rough shape. But we need to make it easier for someone to actually build on that vacant lot. So we are actually creating an infill roadmap for developers to see and have a selection, and they'll never have to come before city council. They'll just be able to continue to move forward very quickly, which is what they want. They want consistency and they want speed. Last thing is lots of discussion about food deserts and food insecurity. We have a proposal before city council right now for a mobile grocery store that would make about 10 to 12 different stops throughout the city of Rockford into food deserts. We would help them with the initial cost of getting that up and running. And we're partnering with Farmers Rising, or you may know them as Angelic Organics. We're partnering with the Northern Illinois Food Bank. They have an entire team of probably 50 people who have been working on this, volunteers, residents who have been working on this for multiple years, and we are bringing that forward again to our committee, not this Monday, the following Monday. So those are some of the updates I have, but happy to answer any questions on any item.
What is the newest update on the Rockford Memorial?
What is the newest update on Rockford Memorial? Last Friday, I met with Pastors Brown, Sheila Brown, and Melvin Brown. They had lots of plans that they presented, everything from housing plans to a restaurant to medical care, all encompassing. All are things we need or want. Not many were based in reality. So we asked them, and they also, I should say, they wanted us to front them several $1 million for design, what we would call pre-development costs. Design, some beginning architecture, things of that nature. So I did not say no. I just said, if you send me a proposal, we will review it. Because this was all, it was supposed to be an in-person meeting, then it was at 8 a.m. At 7:55, they said they wanted a virtual meeting. I said, fine, whatever you want, just want to know what's going on. We have yet, as of today, a week later, received that proposal. We'll review it. I mean, it is a priority for us. I do not want to pay for pre-development costs. I think if you took that property, you made that deal with whoever that is. I don't think all of you should have to pay for it. Now, I also don't want a campus vacant for as long as Barbara Coleman was, so I am willing to participate in some form or fashion, but how it's set up right now, I don't have a lot of confidence. But we did have a meeting, which is an update. Do you have a question?
That was part of my question. I heard that if something is not developed, the property reverts back to Javon Bay. Is that true or not?
Heard that if something is not developed, it reverts back to Javon Bay. I have not heard that piece of information. I don't know if I showed this at the last meeting or not, but a newer piece of information to me was that they are not allowed to sell it for 5 years. Because I have sent them folks who actually want to buy the entire campus. And I've even told, I mean, just full disclosure, I told Pastor Brown, I said, I will give you several hundred thousands of dollars if you just sell the property. I said, sell it for $100,000. You got it for $1. I'll give you several $100,000 just to be calm. That did not go over well. He wants more than that. So that I don't know your answer. I don't know if it reverts back. It would not shock me. Actually, it would shock me a little bit because I would think Mercy wants it off their books. Is the way I understand it. So that would surprise me.
Just wondered in Rockford if there's any kind of an ordinance about having dead trees on your property for a very long time. Is there anything that goes back to the owner to say, I know it's expensive, but to cut this down, please? so.
Question was, is there anything on the books about, dead trees on private land? Is that fair to put it that way? So we actually, we don't have an ordinance that says you can't have a dead tree. But we did create a program because removing a tree is incredibly costly. We've all done it. No one wants to do it, and it always costs more than you think. So we created a no-interest loan pool for people for that exact reason. So instead of paying $1,500 all up front to get that tree removed, we reviewed 3 different contractors. And if you pick one of these 3 contractors that we've reviewed, we know what type of work they do, the quality and the specifications, you can pay a small amount over a 3-year period on your water bill. So we can add $20 to your water bill, or if someone can afford that, but they couldn't afford the $1,500. So we have created workarounds, but no direct thing. Now, if there's some variations to that, so like, it always seems like the dead tree's right on the property line and it's hanging over someone's house or their car. There are certain ways that we can utilize some code enforcement action on those. So if you have them, I would say email them forward and we can see. We can also make that resident aware of the loan pool. We've tried pushing that out, but most folks don't know about it.
Do you have an estimate on when Auburn improvements will finish?
Do I have an estimate on when Auburn improvements will finish? Yes.
And when would that be?
When would that be? So the current phase, which is Latham through Central, will be done at the end of this construction cycle. So you're looking into September, potentially first week or 2 of October. I mean, it's going to take the whole summer. They're replacing the water main, all the lead service lines. It's a major, massive undertaking.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they will then next summer do Central to Springfield.
Can I steal a minute to talk about data centers
Yes.
for a second? What you said, my summary of it is our hands are kind of tied.
Yep.
City government and all of that and all those things. Through the Sierra Club, I had a chance recently to talk to Senator Stadelman.
Yeah.
And something you can do is talk to your senators and talk to them about 2 things. One was a thing called the Power Bill,
Yep.
which is an acronym. I think it's Protect Our Water, Electric, and Rate Payers.
Yep.
And the other one is a super fund to clean up for environmental damage. You know, let's say you cause flooding or something like that as a company. You can't just leave it, and so they're making you pay. So I like the accountability of those things. Talk to Sierra Club, talk to your state reps and stuff. They sat on it basically this year and did nothing, and a lot of the things that you said, you know, well, we don't know this, and you know, only a certain amount. So they weren't ready to die on the sword yet.
Yeah.
But keep it in front of them.
So if you didn't hear it, I know more about one of them than I do the other. One is talk to the Sierra Club. 2 is talk to your state legislators. All of it is about data centers. 1 is about a super fund that you could use to force the data center companies to do more cleanup for impacts that they've had. I do know more about what they call the Power Act. That Power Act did not move forward in Springfield. We support the Power Act. The Power Act would really provide more protections on water and electric rates. That was a bit shocking that it didn't move forward. Truthfully, also, the no more state incentives didn't move forward either in the legislature, which was a bit shocking as well. Yeah. There was
Thank you.
Any news on Riverside, working with Love's Park to get that finished?
Yeah, so that is Love's Park, the county and the township. All I can tell you is the same thing I mentioned the last time, which is I know they are very close to getting the final amount ready. I don't know the exact amount, but I think $14 or $16 million is the total amount they need, and I think they're 2 to 4 million short of that, but it is their top priority, I know that.
What, with the, casino, what amount is, has it been designated for different organizations or whatever, has it been?
What's the money going to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the exact amounts right here. So the question is, for the revenue that we get from the casino, what do we use it for? So I got that right here. It's called my casino plan. So we provide about $2.1 million so that every year so that children can go to college for free. We provide $150,000 to high-risk neighborhood economic development. We provide about $100,000 a year to go to RAVE, which is Rockford Area Venues Entertainment, which is to BMO into the Coronado downtown. We provide $1 million for police and fire buildings, so to maintain the 11 fire stations and the 3 police stations and the evidence facility. We pay an additional $2 million each year towards our police and fire pensions. So on top of our payment, we add another $2 million so that whoever she is after me will be in a better spot. We provide $250,000 towards arts and culture. That can be a lot of different things. I mean, that could be truly sculptures, or it could be to pay an artist to do murals. It could also be audio equipment down at Davis Park, so it's cheaper for event organizers that are local to utilize that space. We put $300,000 into the International Women's Baseball Museum, which is transforming Bayer Stadium. We put $850,000 into the Rockford Community Investment Fund, which is RCIF. RCIF is a CDFI. CDFI is a community development financial institution. So we take blighted homes. We partner with local contractors to rehabilitate those homes and sell those homes. We've done probably about 300 of them in the last 3.5 years. That's where that money goes. Yeah. And that has to be approved every year by our council. The $7 million is there, but they have to approve how that goes. Yeah.
Does that ever get in the paper? Because that's impressive.
The full plan?
Yeah.
It has, but we no longer have it. No, I mean, sorry, my own opinion started to come out. They don't anymore. I mean, they really don't dive into that anymore.
I have a general question, which you may or may not want to bother with. Hard because I can't conceive an answer.
Yeah.
How do you, if you have time to think about this, how do you think about the connection between the kind of conversation that you have regularly, which is grounded in reality, effective, forthcoming, candid, charming? How do we connect that to a national conversation that seems to be only negative, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on? Whom to disagree with, whom to fear, sometimes whom to hate, whom to make fun of. How do we get from confidence and trust that the world is okay to a place where it doesn't seem to be?
You should have worked at a university or something. I'm going to try to repeat portions of that question. You tell me if it's fair or not. How do I contemplate and best move through what we may be seeing at a national level, regardless of what party you are on, of this person's good, this person's bad, this party's good, this party's bad. how do you work with that to where we are, which is we need to continue to move forward and make our community better. Is that fair? So I would say there's multiple answers to that. One is, truthfully, I have very little influence on federal policies. And so for our team, if you were in my office, you would consistently hear us say a bunch of bad words and let's just do the next right thing. And so we try to, maybe to our detriment, focus a little bit more on just what we can control. And not, like I rarely, not that you're following me on social media, but I will rarely weigh into federal issues. I mean, I think I have maybe 6 or 7 times in 9 years. So I really try to keep it hyper local, because I think if you all were down at the Mercado, man, you would have felt a lot of love. Regardless of what you think, if you were at the Pride Parade, you would have felt a lot of love. You may not agree, that's fine, but you would have felt a lot of love. If you were at all these neighborhood block parties, you would feel a lot of love, no matter where they're at. If you went to the churches I get to go to, you would feel a lot of love. You may not believe the same things that they're believing. I often do not. But I try to focus on what's there. I will say, I also am starting to weigh more into some state issues, because I feel like I have some ability and some voice and beginning of some like micro stature that I can have some influence there. But it's really difficult. I mean, a lot of what I'm weighing in on is not, the governor's opinion of his opponent or the opponent's opinion of the governor. It's more, how is this all impacting us? I mean, I cannot tell you enough, forget your party. If you don't think municipalities are under attack, you are living under a rock. So I am taking it from the municipality is under attack as opposed to this person or this group of people are under attack. I don't know if that's right. But I mean, just this session, they wanted to take away all of our zoning authority. They wanted to, in Springfield, and take away more of our money. I mean, honestly, like, here, be the mayor then. Like, if you're taking you've already taken our money, now you're taking our power, like, what am I doing here? I have grown more and more frustrated. And not with a person and not really with a party, but really with the process of Springfield, that I do find myself wanting to influence it more, because we talk about all these issues. They're just not that complicated. I mean, when you really get down to it, it isn't. It's about a priority, and it's about a minuscule amount of courage. I mean, the pension stuff is real. The local government distributed fund that I think I'm the only person in Northern Illinois talking about is real. I mean, they've taken $144 million away. I just told you that we send every kid to college tuition free for 2.1. What can I do with 144? Like, our whole community would be different. So not a good answer. And I would say the only other thing that we try to do is I try to be every single place I can be. Even places I don't always agree with everything they're doing, just to show them that they are supported. I may not love what this group is doing, but they're supported and they can do it here. So that's some of the stuff. Any other questions? Yeah.
When the state gerrymanders their congressional, their representative districts, do municipal leaders have any influence on keeping communities together?
So when the state gerrymanders or adjusts their legislative districts, do we municipal leaders have any say? We do not. I'm on the executive board for the Illinois Municipal League, and we advocated for fair maps, but we don't have any, I mean, they don't have to listen to us. we have no say. I would say some things I would like the Illinois Municipal League to do, and I'm only one of the people part of it. I think we miss a huge opportunity because I think our mayors are in the communities every day. We're at the grocery stores, we're at the gas pumps, we're in the churches, we're everywhere. Our state leaders are not, and our federal leaders certainly are not. I don't know the last time even senators I really love went to the grocery store, you know? And I think we need to do a better job of spreading the message through our mayors as opposed to through the association. Our leader right now will be retiring soon. He's phenomenal. He's the best. I mean, he is wicked smart. He does an incredible job advocating in Springfield, and I'll pick on people I like. But, you know, Kelly Maurice West and Representative Dave Vella, this is what I want, and you're in Springfield, has not near the impact of Tom McNamara saying, this is what I want and this is what I need at a press conference in their district. And we need to bring it to where they're at every day and who votes for them as opposed to where they go to work. And it's a totally different world in Springfield. I mean, a totally different world. There was another question over here. Yeah.
When we voted in March, the sidewalks were not shoveled, we go down here to the church on the corner.
Okay.
And it was icy. What can you do as a city to get voting places accessible?
Yeah, so we can have some say in that. So the question was, what can we do as a city to make sure our voting places are more accessible? You probably could not hear, but she stated she went to go vote, and the sidewalks were iced over or snowed over, and made it
And so is the parking lot.
and made it not accessible. And
The parking
just for
lot.
one clarification question, were the sidewalks of the place that you were going to vote, or were they someone else's?
The place we
No,
were going
in
to
churches.
It was a church's sidewalk, okay. So that we can absolutely address.
In their defense, they were out there working on it when we went to vote.
Oh,
Okay. So the Rockford Board of Elections will determine those voting locations, and then we'll put out requirements for each of those voting locations. I know the chair of that group fairly well. I will reach out to them when I leave here and just request that they do more around snow removal. We can do that. I mean, I have some other issues, like, to answer your question, yes, we can do something, and I will do it. Another issue I have is where people go to vote. I think they do, it's very difficult. I think the rule is you can only have 3 precincts per voting location. So when you move one, you gotta adjust them all a little bit. But just to give you an idea, do you guys know where the Luther Center is downtown?
Yes.
There is a voting location where I vote at the Nordloff Theater. Basically, they cross 2 streets in a parking lot and they're at the voting location. Many of the folks are seniors and individuals with disabilities. They have to vote way out on School Street at the Church of God in Christ. About 2.1 miles or something like that.
And nobody has a car.
You talk about stupid. That's the top of the list for me. I'm like, they could literally walk across the street. And I understand that they can only have 3 precincts, but I'm like, I went and voted at 9 o'clock. I was number 7. It's not like we're inundating our whole places with people. And you can always wait a minute and get in line. So I am very hypersensitive to our Rockford Board of Elections and some issues that they need to solve. But I will add that to my list and I'll contact them today. Any other questions? Okay. I really appreciate it. If you ever need anything, please reach out. I am sorry that Chief Tyler was not able to be here for longer, but we should have her back and let her just talk. She is honestly, she's like a Hall of Fame college basketball player. She is doing some incredible things with her mobile integrated health. She's doing incredible things with fire prevention. She has a whole new ideas on education and awareness for our community. Too many people in our community are calling 911 for non-emergencies. And so I am just so excited about her leadership. I think also, by the way, I'll just make one plug. It would be really cool if we had a police chief and a fire chief that were both women and a mayor that was a woman.